Okay, let's learn about ratios and proportions. So the ratio of A to B is either a fraction, A over B, or you can write it as A colon B. And you have to make sure that B is not 0 because we can never divide by 0. So let's find the ratio of AE to BE. Alright, so here's AE and here's BE. And so the ratio of AE to BE is going to be 10 to 5x, and when you're doing ratios you always want to reduce, so I can take a 5 out and I'm going to get 2 over x, so it would be my final answer. Okay, let's use the same picture. Now we're going to find the ratio of the largest angle of triangle ACE to the smallest angle of triangle DBE. Okay, so if these two angles are 30 and 60, which add up to 90, then this one has to be 90 because all three angles have to add up to 180. And since these angles are vertical, that's also going to be 90. Okay, so the largest angle of triangle ACE is 90, and the smallest angle of triangle DBE is 30. And 90 over 30 reduces to 9 to 3, which is 3 to 1. Or you could write it like that. Either one of those answers would be correct. Now, proportion is an equation. So it's got an equal sign in it, and it states that two ratios are equal to each other. So for example, you could say x is to 3 as 5 is to 6, and you could solve that by multiplying both sides by 3, and so you get x is equal to 15 over 6, which reduces to 5/2. So this is the proportion. And this is a ratio that x is equal to. Well, let's do some examples. So if I have a telephone pole that's 7 meters tall and it snaps into two parts during a windstorm, and the ratio of the two parts is 3 to 2, then what are we going to say? So here's the pole, and there's a long part, and there's a shorter part. And you'll notice that 3 plus 2 doesn't add up to 7, so we're missing a factor. So this is 3 times some factor x, and this piece is 2 times some factor x. And so 3x plus 2x has to add up to the total length of 7, which means that 5x is 7, which means that x is 7/5. Now that's not our answer. To get our answer, we're going to take x, and I'm going to put it in there and there to get my two lengths. So the short length is 2 times x, which is 14/5, and the long length is 3 times 7/5, which is 21/5, and these are in meters. Okay, now if I add these two together, look what happens. 14/5 plus 21/5 is 35/5, which is 7 meters, which is what the original length was. Here's another kind of problem involving ratios. So we're given values for x, y, and z, and we're going to write them in this form right here. So x plus y is going to be 12 plus 10, and z plus y is going to be 24 plus 10, which is 22 over 34, which is 11 over 17. When you're working with ratios, you always want to reduce. Okay, and you can also have three terms in a ratio. So x to y to z would be 12 to 10 to 24, which is 6 to 5 to 12. And that's as far as we can go with that. So that'll be our answer. One last example. The ratio of the measures of two complementary angles is 4 to 5. What are the angles? Okay, well, complementary angles add up to 90. So we're going to say 4 times x plus 5 times x has to equal 90. 9x is 90. So x is 10, which means one angle is 4 times 10, which is 40. And the other angle is 5 times 10, which is 50. And of course, 40 degrees plus 50 degrees does equal 90. So they are complementary.